Hi everyone, hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. So today what we're going to do is we're going to add one new factor to solving our problems. Okay, it's a little tricky factor, but I feel like we're going to dominate it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so you can kind of see what I'm working with here. Okay, let's move this out of the way. So, yesterday we talked about mass, atoms, and then volume, and they all went into the center, which was moles. Okay, oh, you can't see that, there we go. And then from there we talked about how moles goes back to mass, can go back to atoms, or it can go to volume. We talked about this is the division side, this is the multiplication side, and that's how we set it up. Okay. Now what we're going to be doing today is actually we're going to have a mole to mole ratio. Okay. So we're throwing one step in, and I like to do a little T-chart. Okay. So this is the moles that you want to end with. And down here, you're going to implement moles that you start with. Okay. And both of these factors can be solved or can be implemented from a balanced equation. Okay. Can be implemented from a balanced equation. So for example, let's say I have blank H2 plus blank O2 creates blank water. Okay? So let's say I have this problem right here. And I have to balance it. So remember, my arrow is kind of like an equal sign. So I got to see how many hydrogens and how many oxygens I have on both sides. Hydrogen, I have 2. Hydrogen, 2 on that side. 2 oxygens on this side. I only have 1 on that side. So my oxygen are off a little bit, so I got to double this side. So when I double that turns my hydrogen into 4, my oxygen into 2. So my oxygen is good. And now I have to double my hydrogen. Now, is it balanced? It is. Okay, so that's the very first step that we're going to do when solving these types of problems. So if a question says, let's say, the mass of oxygen is something, and we're trying to solve for the mass of water. So we've got to go through this route. Okay, so let's say the mass of oxygen is 50 grams. Well, remember, you got to divide by the atomic mass of oxygen, O2. So 50 divided by, well, if you look on the periodic table, oxygen weighs 16, but O2 means it weighs 32. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to type this in a calculator. So you have 50 divided by 32. And that's 1.56 moles. So I got that answer. Now, these two answers have to be implemented from the balanced equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see my balanced equation. Mole, end with mole. So I want to end with water. Okay, so how many moles of water do I have? Well, I have 2 of them, right? I have 2 moles of water. So that means I'm going to have a 2 on top. In moles I started with. So I started with O2. So how many moles is right there? Well, technically there's an invisible 1. So a 1's going to go there. So what you're going to do is multiply across and divide down. So 1.56 times 2, and then divided by 1. So now that puts me right here. My last step, I have to multiply by the atomic mass again. This case, I'm using water. So hydrogen, I have 2 of those, each one weighs 1. Oxygen weighs 16, so the mass is actually 18. So I'm going to have to multiply my answer. My answer I got here times 18. And I got 56. 56 grams of water. Okay. So, first step, balance the equation. Balance the equation. Okay. Second step, go from your grams to your moles. Do your little conversion using the balance equation. And then finally do the atomic mass, which we learned yesterday. Okay. So we're just adding one step in this. So what I want you guys to do is check Google Classroom. I will post a little assignment. There's 10 problems, a decent amount. But I want you guys to solve them, circle the answers, or highlight them. Now, the coloring activity. So it is a coloring activity. So if you get like one is A, and A corresponds to pink, well, every one you're going to draw pink. Okay? You don't have to do the coloring activity. If you do, I'll give you extra credit, but you don't have to do it, okay? That's just up to you. But I do want you to solve the problems. That will be for a grade. And this assignment actually is going to be today and tomorrow's assignment, okay? So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If not, we will see you on Friday.